Is Dr. Paul Thigpen with a PhD in historical theology and author of the best-selling book titled Extraterrestrial Intelligence and the Catholic Faith. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So you and Congressman Tim Burchett were on News Nation's podcast, Reality Check with Ross Coulthart. Love that podcast. The congressman said he believed the Vatican knows that extraterrestrial life exists. He was very confident. I know you've been following this for a very long time. What do you make of what the Vatican is saying this morning?
Well, I've only found one news site actually reporting that it was going to mention aliens, and they didn't attribute that data point. If you look at the website for it, it limits itself to talking about apparitions and related paranormal phenomena. And it's supposed to be kind of an update of protocols that the Vatican had for handling cases like that. So they only started a few minutes ago. You have them there live right now. So haven't really had the chance to hear what they've said or to see the document itself. My guess is that it will probably not mention aliens. I would be surprised if it did, and all things are possible. But I think it's going to focus on apparitions and the kind of paranormal phenomena that often accompany apparitions. So by apparitions, we mean people who claim to see Jesus or the Virgin Mary or angels or other saints, sure, and sometimes to hear things as well.
So is there evidence of angels and aliens being one of the same? Do you believe that could be true, sir?
I think what we're encountering right now in the UAP studies is probably different things. There are a few things that I think seem to fit a demonic profile, but I don't think the majority of them do. Others, I suppose, could be angelic sightings, but I think it likely that we're talking about some other things too. Genuine extraterrestrial intelligence, perhaps intelligent species that are crypto here on Earth. I think it could be a lot of things, and maybe angels are one of them, but we'll have to see.
Dr. Thigpen, I'm curious here. How do you prove an apparition, especially to non-believers out there?
Well, it's maybe hard to prove to non-believers in some ways, but
Sure,
the kind of evidence that the appropriate officials would gather would be first to try to determine the facts of what happened. So somebody reports that there was a light in the sky, that others see it. Any other evidence of it? Is the truth being told? The people who are making the report, they would want to look into their background some. Do they seem to be people of integrity? Could there be medical or psychological issues there, so that to try to rule out things like hallucination or even hoax, counterfeiting? They look at the content of it to see, what's being said. If someone claims, for instance, makes a claim like God and Satan are the same being or something, they would say, yeah, that's probably not divine. And also just verifiable information. If somebody says, okay, the Virgin Mary came to me and said that on such and such a date the world will end, and it didn't end, that's pretty good evidence, that it wasn't true. So there are more. People don't realize, I think there are many more apparitions that the Vatican would say, nope, we don't have
sure,
evidence, than those that it would approve. Those are few.
They do their research for sure. And like you mentioned, the Vatican is actually releasing those findings right now. We just started a few minutes ago. But David Grusch, he told News Nation special correspondent Ross Coulthart the Vatican was in possession of a UFO aircraft from 1933. Do we have time to listen to that, guys? Yeah, here it is.
1933 was the first recovery in Europe, in Magenta, Italy. They recovered a partially intact vehicle. Italian government moved it to a secure air base in Italy for the rest of kind of the fascist regime until 1944, 1945, and the Pope Pius XII back-channeled that.
So the Vatican was involved?
Yeah, and told the Americans what the Italians had, and we ended up scooping it.
So let me be very clear about this. You're saying that the Catholic Church, the Vatican, they know about the existence of non-human intelligence on this planet?
Certainly.
Dr. Thigpen, you also spoke to David directly about this. Do you believe the Vatican has been covering up proof of extraterrestrial life?
Yeah, I wouldn't use the word cover up. You have to think about the historical circumstances. If it happened, there's no way I can know for sure. But I certainly take David at his word, David Grusch, that he was given that information. He also said to me that certain documents have been published a couple of decades ago that are alleging this, and you look at those and you say, maybe they're not so convincing. But David says he has for additional evidence. He's not just depending on that. So given that, I trust his testimony.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.